What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Cedar Ridge Chronicles. If you've never been here, I appreciate y'all checking it out. If y'all have been here before, I appreciate y'all watching. Today, what we're going to do, I've got two does, two whitetail does, and I've got a big boar, wild boar that I killed a few days ago. And we're going to process all of this in our kitchen. We got Christy running the camera. There she is. She's the camera lady today, and she's going to be running the grinder. I figured that I'd run y'all through our process here. I can't show everything because YouTube will demonetize anything that is, nasty or gross. So I'm not going to put everything on here, but I thought I'd walk y'all through our process, show y'all the equipment that we use, just to give y'all some ideas of how easy it can be to do this, in your own kitchen. I'm pretty sure that little piggy stayed home. I think he's down just over that hill over there. If he is, we may have us some barbecue for tomorrow. Well, we picked us up a little concoction here. Got a giant cooler on the cart. We've got a Sawzall, garbage bags, 2 skinning knives, flashlight, fresh set of legs, change of clothes.
And didn't go 10 yards.
Yeah, didn't go 20.
Big. I mean, look at that.
Yeah. Big old cutters on it. Big old hog. Well, guys, this is the first animal that I've ever killed in Bankhead National Forest. I've shot a few deer and lost them. Missed a turkey or two. We don't know how much this hog weighs, but I mean, y'all can see how big he is. He's at least 250, don't you think?
At least.
So I don't know nothing about pigs, but I mean, he's thick. He's about 2 foot wide. So I'm gonna see how far we are back here in the woods. Right at 3/4 mile. So 3/4 mile back in the woods. We got to go uphill probably, what, 100 foot in elevation?
Yep.
From here, and then luckily it's flat almost back out to the truck. So we've got our cart with our cooler loaded on it. We brought a Sawzall, we brought skinning knives and all. So we're going to try to just quarter this thing up and get him in a cooler. And see if we can't get him out of here. Man, that's a lot of pig. All right, we got this guy butchered up. Got all the meat in the cooler. Y'all look right here at how thick that plate is. That's the plate that was right behind his head. Y'all can see it's nearly 2 joints of my finger. It's close to 2 inches thick. That was a interesting job. I don't know how long it took us. You know what time it is, D? 8:45. How long have we been in here? Hour and a half?
Hour and a half.
So it ain't horrible. We've got him quartered and got the back straps and stuff off of him. So now we just have to climb to the top of this mountain and go 3/4 mile back to the truck. So we'll see y'all again here in a minute.
An hour or two.
Yeah, that's right. All right. He's in the back of the truck. Thank you, God, for another day.
Amen.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Well, we made it back to the truck. Hold that for just a second so everybody can see my ugly face. Whew. Have to take another heart pill. Okay, it is 9:45. What time we leave the hill? 8:45? 7:45. No.
8:45.
8:45 we were done skinning. Yeah. It took us 1 hour to get back to the truck. Ain't too bad. Let's go home and get some food and some ice. What we're gonna do is let's go through what we've got. I've got a Cabela's deluxe meat grinder. It's one of the smallest ones made. You can get these for, I believe they're between about $150 and $250, depending on the size that you buy. You can see about how big it is. I mean, it's not, that thing's not a foot long. But I'm gonna show y'all how easy it is to put together. Little chute right here goes on. Screw that on. You've got a little bitty auger. Goes in. That just easily fits into this hole as soon as you figure out. Then you've got your knife. Make sure the blades are facing outward. Seems like it would be the opposite, but it goes blades facing out. Comes with 2 plates. You've got a coarse and a fine. And I prefer the coarse. I like a coarse ground meat if I'm going to be using it chili, tacos, burger, or anything. It keeps it from getting quite as mushy, especially with the, like when you're trying to patty burger. If you get deer meat that's too fine, sometimes it'll get real squishy. I mean, y'all know how that goes. But we've also got this piece in here that's got bigger holes in it where you can run already ground meat with seasoning through these horns right here into sausage casings if you're doing sausage. It comes with 3 different size sausage stuffers, what they call a sausage horn. The small one you can use for breakfast links if you wanted to. We're probably going to be using this bigger one. And what we're going to do is run it into these bags right here. Y'all have probably seen these bags, local processors and stuff. If anybody is wondering whether or not meat will freezer burn in these, yes, it will. Some people are opposed to using these because they keep meat for way too long or keep their freezers way too cold. If your freezer's turned down to one of the lowest settings, similar to an ice cream freezer, it will create such a dry environment that it can freezer burn meat quicker than just being frozen. I know that sounds crazy, but you can't over freeze deer meat. Now, we always eat ours within about a year's time, and we cycle through it every year. So I've never had meat freezer burn in those bags. That being said, I know it will keep for a year. Biggest thing is try to keep some of the air out of it. Don't turn your freezers down too low. All right, let's continue with the assembly of the grinder. We're going to take our coarse plate. You can see it's got this little notch in it right here. A little piece right here that's going to keep that from spinning. That will fit directly over that piece right there. You just have to hold that in place to put the nut over the top of this. And that's just going to screw on in place. This pan just sits on top just like that. That's what you're going to put your meat in to feed down into the grinder. Now this right here is not going to be tightened all the way yet. Leave this a little bit loose. When you go to put the first pieces of meat in there, when they go down in there and you bump that grinder to turn it on, when it starts trying to feed, put a little pressure on it and it will seat when that meat hits it. It'll also, the juice and the blood from that meat will help lubricate that blade, and you won't have that metal on metal, and it will save the life of your plate and your knife. It won't grind as much metal down. Once that hits, then you can snug it on up and you won't have any problems. Something else that we found that works is taking these bags right here, and rather than using the little tape gun or the little thing that puts the little tabs on there, we use our FoodSaver. And you can stick these bags in this FoodSaver, just hit seal, and it will seal these bags as good, if not better, than a regular FoodSaver bag. And what I want to try to do this time, I want to try to run meat from this into this bag down at the end. It's got a 1 pound line on it right here for your marker on the bag. I'd like to run it out to that, and then I'd like to try to lay this flat and flatten that out. Instead of having a round roll, when we make our sausage, we'll keep it round so we can slice it for patties. But I would like to try and make that flat, stick it in that FoodSaver, and seal it. It won't be vacuum sealed. We're going to get all the air out of it we can and just seal it. And that way those flat packs will stack in the freezer a little bit better. I think it'll help save us some room and it won't be rolling around all over the place. Yeah, that's 100 bags per package. So, I mean, they're really cheap. And like I said, as long as you're eating your deer meat in good time, you're not going to have any trouble with them freezer burning in that. We eat so much deer meat that I think we could probably put it in there without a bag and it still wouldn't freezer burn. But I've just got a regular cutting board. What we're going to do is we're going to drag the deer meat in here in the cooler. And as we go to cutting on it, I'm going to bone it from inside the cooler, cut it boneless, and put it on my cutting block. And each muscle I'm going to clean up, cut into what we want it cut into, and I'm just going to put the grinding And the trimming's in this tub right here, and we'll pass out to Christy. And she's gonna be running it out into those bags as we're going. Got a trash can right here beside me for all the scrap. I like to use a fillet knife. You can buy boning knives. When I worked in the meat department, we used boning knives. We used 8-inch steak knives and stuff to cut this stuff up. But I found that in the kitchen, especially with a lot of this little finish work, a regular flexible, small, now this is probably an 8-inch fillet knife, works really well to cut that silver skin off. It's thin blade, it flexes really well, just like a boning knife in a meat department. But with a smaller little thin blade, you can really save a lot of your red meat while you're cutting that silver skin off to throw away to clean that deer meat up. Let's go out here and take a look at what we've got to process. This cooler right here, we've got 2 doughs that we've got in here on ice. They're quartered, still got the bones in them. And then this is the hog that I was able to harvest. And it has got probably twice as much meat on that one hog as both of those does are gonna have. It was a big pig. I don't know what he weighed. I'm gonna guess 350. I'd like to say 400, but I'm gonna get a lot of feedback on that, and it's not gonna be 400. If I weighed him, he'd probably be more like 325, but to me, he looked like he was 800 pounds when we were trying to quarter him up in the middle of nowhere and bring him back out. I didn't get much footage, but it was still a cool day. All right, we're gonna get these coolers drug in there and we'll get started. All right, guys, we've got a few of the necks cut up. See right here, we got some really pretty meat. All of this right here, we're gonna cook and we're going to put in the crock pot as Mississippi pot roast. I don't know if y'all have ever had that before, but I guess we could put that, we'll put that recipe at the end of this video. I may even put it in the description where y'all can see it is my favorite way to eat venison. I absolutely love it. But anyway, we've got a few pieces cut up right here, and I'm going to show y'all how to put the sausage horn on this grinder. What you're going to do is take this plate. If you're just going to run this out into hamburger, like into a bag or a tray, you can do it this way. But if you're running it out into these bags, or if you're using sausage casings, you take that off. This horn is going to go inside the plate, and the plate will seat it against the grinder. Just like that. They'll just go together as one big piece. Then when the meat comes out, you'll be able to take your bag and put it all the way down in here like this, and you'll be able to start at this end, filling your bag up so that you don't get blood and stuff all over the top of that bag. I'll show y'all how it's done. Please demonstrate. Y'all remember, we don't have this completely tight right here. It's still a little bit loose until we get that seated. It's going to go all the way to the very end of the bag. We'll put you a little bit of meat in here. Switch that on. And put you a little bit of meat in there. And then we're going to seat now. I'll go ahead and feed that. What I cut off here is probably, go ahead and do that part right there. It's going to be really close to finishing that pound up. You see that line on the thing right there. All right, go ahead and switch it off. Do what?
It was right out
Yep,
of pound.
right out of pound. What are you barking at? You ever watching football? It's my dog Calvin over there. He's not enjoying what we're trying to do here. Yeah, let's flatten that out just a little bit. Let's try it that way this time. Flatten it on out to the end, just where it's nice and even. That right there. And then let's try to seal this. clamp the end of that, and just, we're not going to use the vacuum. We're just going to seal the end of it. Wait for the old red light to go off. Any second now. There it is. All right, now, see how good a seal, I mean, that seal right there is awesome. I mean, it is awesome, awesome. No leaks, no nothing. What you got now, I mean, we can even flatten this on out even more, all the way to the seal. Oh yes, perfect. It's gonna get all the gaps out of it. And y'all can see now, instead of having a roll of venison, you've got this flat pack. So we're gonna do that with every single one of them. When you put them in the freezer, hopefully they'll stack a little bit better and won't take up quite as much room. Something else too, guys, I didn't think to mention it, but I noticed when we did those packs a minute ago, sometimes there will be a little bit of blood that will come out right here from the grinder. Put you a tub up under there to catch that, and it's gonna keep your kitchen clean while you're messing with that. So like I said, it doesn't have to be super dirty. Even though it seems like a nasty job, really isn't that bad if you're careful. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all where we're at. We've got the 2 deer completely finished, and they're in the freezer. We've made a minimal mess. Oh, let's see, very little mess. Right here on the counter, I've got all the necks in here for the roast, and I've also got some back straps in here marinating to sear the skillet to put on biscuits, which is delicious. Show y'all what this looks like in the freezer. See how well that stacks. I counted a bit ago, I believe that's 28 packs. So see, I mean, that's one shelf in the freezer. But they sit really evenly, stack right up there. Once they freeze, I mean, it's not going to take up hardly any room at all. The sausage that we make out of the hog, I believe I've changed my mind, and I'm going to go ahead and flatten it out, stack it in there the same way. Once it thaws out, I can re-round it to slice it. So that's no big deal. But that's way better than it rolling around like the other packs that we had before. So Christy has gone to get us some lunch. We're going to get something to eat, and then we're going to drag that hog in here. We're going to get started on it. Okay, well, we finally got the pig done, didn't we? Mm-hmm. It took a minute. Probably, it would take 2 hours. About 2 hours to do the pig, and about an hour and a half to do the deer. About 2 hours? Okay, we had 2 deer, so about 4 hours total. We got a big hog and 2 deer done, so that's not too bad. We got about close to 20 pounds of sausage, plus the pork chops off there. And then I've also got the whole front shoulders. I've just got the whole front shoulders over there bagged. I'm going to throw them in the freezer. We're going to smoke those whole, make us some barbecue out of them. Anyway, guys, I'm going to show y'all now how we clean this machine in case y'all decide to buy one and are just wondering about how easy it might be. I've already taken the head back off of it. Take the plate back off. Easiest way to get this plate off is to just bump the on switch. Just like that, it'll come right off. You're gonna pull your knife out, pull your auger out, take off the pan off the top, unscrew this, and that will come right off. It's actually very, very simple. I have to excuse the noise from the dishwasher. We're already washing some stuff. Trying to get all this mess cleaned up. Just take you some antibacterial soap, put in there with all that. Just gonna run some hot water in there and just let that soak for maybe about 15 or 20 minutes. If I get the water good and hot, it'll burn all that fat off of everything. You won't have any grease on there or nothing. Now let's go throw this stuff in the freezer. Take a look at our final product. Can you fit in here? All right, let's put our pork right there for now. Like that. See how nice and neat all that stacked right in there? So much easier than having round packages. Really suggest y'all try that. All right, guys, and I'm going to drop a link in the description from some Amazon links. I have a little bit of this stuff that we've used. It's not going to have the Cabela's grinder, but there are some LEM grinders probably on Amazon. I'll check and see some brands that I know some people that have something similar to the size of what I've been using here, and maybe even those bags that we've been using. So y'all check those out in the description. Y'all can click on those and it'll take you straight on there to where y'all can order the stuff from Amazon. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope it'll be helpful. Maybe it'll show y'all how to do some stuff, save yourself a little bit of money, show you how to pack some of this stuff up, save some room. And me and Christy are going to clean up all this kitchen, and we're going to try to get us a little bit of rest before it's time to go to bed. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next time.